Okay, I see that I am live. Let me know if you can hear me. Um, I'm not sure if you can hear me just yet. But if you don't, I know I'm kind of late going on live. And if you are watching the replay, just comment replay so I can know people be watching sometimes. And I know this is I'm not sure if this is the first time I have went live this year or not. I don't think so. Look at me. I don't know. I'm lying. I don't. No, I really remember going live one time before this. So, first live in February, but not live in 2025. Okay. Look at all this with live and thrive and all that in the vibe, all the rhyming. So, hi there, I am Dr. LaQuita J. I'm a Naplex success strategist. I help pharmacists pass the Naplex in 6 months or less by shifting their mindset, strategizing their plans so they're effective for the Naplex exam. And on this live, I want to talk about something that we discovered, that I have discovered, and it was one of those things. If you do not know, I do have a case study. I have a case study review on Thursday, February 20th, and we will be discussing how I was able to help a fourth attempt Naplex test taker pass. She came on her third try, her third attempt, and we were able to get her to pass within 6 months. And one of the things that we talked about, that we discovered, was she had to think of studying harder and not necessarily smarter. I was had like studying harder and longer hours. And I want to talk about that. And if that's you, again, say it's me. But I want to talk about that. Being studying, you will see me move a little bit because I have my notes. I'm trying a new method. We'll see how it goes. I don't know yet, but we're gonna see how it goes, right? And I have a new method of presenting tonight. We're gonna see how it works out. Um, just try to just disclaim myself just in case there's a mishap. But I'm going to talk about the truth about studying harder and longer and why it's not helping you. For pharmacists who have preparing for the NAPLEX exam, and that's the North American Pharmacist Licensure Exam, this there's a extensive response to failure. Our unperformance is often like the thing of let's study harder and longer. So many people believe that increased hours and sure effort are the keys to success. However, that is a traditional mindset. That mindset can lead to burnout, reduced retention, even repeated exam failures. Because the truth is, studying harder is not the same as studying smarter. To really achieve success on a Netflix, you must embrace strategic evidence based study methods. And I want to go over some of those methods tonight, okay? So how does this relate? How does traditional pharmacy school study habits help correlate with failed Netflix takers? Well, for one, pharmacy schools condition students to adopt a certain study technique that may not align with the demands of the Netflix. Many students, for instance, rely heavily on passive review methods such as rereading, highlighting, cramming for the exam. And let's talk about it like the cramming. Say you have a test every single week, and we get into the point of, oh, I get to relax as always. The first couple of days of weeks of school, you're like, oh, I cannot study today, just the first week. And then you realize the information is piling on. Then all of a sudden, an exam comes. Then another exam comes, and it's too much. You begin to cram. Hello, somebody. And then you also start the rereading because you believe if I keep rereading the text or rereading my notes, something's going to stick. But that's a form of memorization. And then when we start highlighting, we highlight just to highlight. We highlight everything because, oh my gosh, everything's important, so I have to highlight it. But those techniques, and we have started in pharmacy school, those techniques are not good for preparing for the exam, preparing for the NAPLEX. These strategies have yield more, like, again, it may help you during passing pharmacy school because you have different teaching styles where one teacher may teach you more on a factual level one learning, of just factual, like do you know the facts. Another teacher may teach you on critical thinking where you got to apply different concepts. Another person may just be all over the place and you don't know. One person maybe you just study their slides and you're good to go. So it's different methods that you learn, and these strategies that just not necessarily effective when it comes to studying for the licensure exam, which requires you have to be more application based knowledge and have more critical thinking skills. There has been research that has shown that cognitive psychology consistently highlighting that is a total thing of limitations for passive learning. You just constantly highlighting. You found that there was a study done in 2013. um, Let me look. I gotta go into my notes. I want to make sure I name the study. There was a study done in 2013 by Dunlosky, was called about improving students' learning from effective learning techniques. And this particular study, it talked about those techniques of rereading, highlighting, and how low utility for long-term retention that they have. And in contrast, it's always um, it's always effective for a pharmacist when you're studying to use different strategies like active recall and practice testing. Those are more effective strategies when you're learning and trying to build memory, improve your memory retention. So the Naplex preparation demands this kind of like long-term mastery, because the exams test a pharmacist's ability to actually apply the clinical knowledge in real world scenarios, not just isolated facts that we were taught in pharmacy school, where you have an exam on this particular topic and that particular topic. That was not necessarily the case. And with the Naplex, it's more comprehensive. And that's one of the key things that the mistake pharmacists make, because they focus on they're focusing on the effort over effectiveness. So for instance, let's get this example, right? After filling the Netflix, many pharmacists respond by doubling their study hours. They believe if I have a sheer effort of studying more, I can bridge the knowledge gaps. But that does not mean it's going to be productive. That approach is really counterproductive. Those prolonged study lessons lead to diminished returns or mental fatigue. I remember, and I'll use myself for example, of studying long hours. And I would literally wake up at 6 o'clock in the morning, start studying by 7 a.m. Some nights I don't go to sleep till about 12 a.m., 1 or 2 o'clock in the day. But the thing was, I spent all that day having 15 hours plus days of studying. But the truth of the matter was, I wasn't effectively studying. I was doing things and I was wasting a lot of time because I was saying, oh, everything was important. Everything was, I had to know all these things. Um, I treated like it was an exam for pharmacy school, where it's like, okay, let me just load the information. But did I take out time to really apply the information? And those prolonged study sessions, they're not good use of your time, because it's the truth of the matter is you have to space out those study sessions, because space out study sessions over there's proven that space out study sessions over time is better in your retention and in your memory. That last minute cramming does not help. There's also this belief that studying study time equates to better preparation. And again, it's not effective use of time. You just could be simply wasting time. Oh, I had a 15-hour study day. But of those 15 hours, how much did you actually study? How much did you really do? Do like what did you really do? Because sometimes oftentimes those long hours, they just mask deeper issues. They entice those ineffective study techniques or the lack of understanding the exam content. Many people confuse that study time with study progress, and that's not it. It's not it. And what happens is it creates a cycle of frustration, hours of effort with little improvement, leaving you feeling exhausted and defeated. If I'm talking, if I'm knocking it, look at if I'm on your road, let me know. Again, for your own, and if you're coming in watching, hi there. I am Dr. LaQuita J. I'm a Naplex success strategist. I help pharmacists pass a Naplex in 6 months or less by shifting their mindset, strategizing their plans so they're effective for the Naplex exam. And I really want to debunk this myth of if you study harder and longer, it's going to help you. Because truth is, it's not. And if you do not know, on Thursday, February 20th, there'll be a real case study with a client who came to on her fourth attempt and how we was able to help her go from fourth attempt to a registered pharmacist in 6 months. In this case study, and one of the things we did was for her to study less and when she retained more. It was really a truly a prime example of strategic studying. It's strategic studying. When she came to on her fourth attempt, initially, as she said, she approached her exam with the work hard mindset, the dedicated to long hours, rereading the textbook, taking notes. Despite her efforts, she continued to struggle with recalling the information under pressure because a lot of times we get in the habit of rewriting, rereading, rewatching videos, redoing a quiz. But did you really ask yourself, how am I going to remember this information? See, that's when we started with her. We shift her approach to a more strategic study method. Everything changed. We implemented active recall, which requires you to retrieve information from your memory without looking at your notes. Because honestly, that's what you do on the exam anyway. When you're taking an Naplex exam, that's a form you're active recalling. You're recalling everything you know about something, and you're applying to a question in a quick and precise time. That's what we do. Another thing we did was we incorporated space repetition. That's another technique, which involves reviewing materials at increasing intervals. She even had the formula, the formula we have formulated for a review system, the SCORE method. We have formulated that. We have different formulas we have formulated of active recall and space repetition. And finally, we really introduced her to those practice testing exam type style questions where we simulated real testing conditions as well as throughout we built her confidence. The result literally was she reduced her daily study hours, but she retained more information and she felt increasingly confident in her ability to apply that knowledge. Again, her fourth attempt was a success, not because she worked harder, but because she worked smarter. She had guidance and she had someone every single time, weekly, correcting, refine tuning her knowledge gaps, refine tuning her study scratches, her approach to her learning to make sure she's doing the best that she can do. And that's one of the things when it comes to the science behind these effective learning strategies. Active recall is definitely one. It's a technique when you attempt to retrieve information from your memory without assistance. Think about how when you were in elementary school, or just simply put where you have a sheet of paper, you put your hand and you cover your hand on one side of the paper, and you quiz yourself on it. That's active recall. There has been so much research on it, how it improves your long-term retention compared to that passive review because you're actively recalling information, not passively waiting to hope you memorize something by rereading and highlighting. You're actively doing something. It really enforces the neural pathways that you need, making your retrieval easy during the exam. Spaced repetition was another scientific technique that we use. This approach involved reviewing the information over intervals of time. And as I mentioned, in the case that we'll go a little bit deeper, how we was able to implement active recall, how we was able to implement the spaced repetition, how we implement the practice testing. Those are techniques that we use because it was easy. Because when she embraced those methods, it also required her to shift her mind. Her mindset had to shift because when you let go of the notion that more effort guarantees success, you feel you don't you instead when you shift it and you say that, oh no, you recognize that efficiency and strategy are the true drivers of your progress. The shifting, the shifting can be challenging, especially for those who are accustomed to traditional study habits, but the results really speak for themselves. When one of the key things you do this whole myth of study longer, you don't need to study longer. You just have to know how to maximize your time. And we specialize in helping you maximize your time to effectively study for the exam. Now, some people, don't get me wrong, some people are required to study longer because there is a knowledge gap. Everyone doesn't study long, like everyone does have different knowledge gaps. And I believe you have a longer, wider knowledge gap, you need to study a little bit longer. But it's exactly how you study. And I'm saying knowledge gap. For instance, if you know that biostatistics is not your thing, you know that's your weakness. Why are we only spending 30 minutes on it? We should spend a little more time on biostatistics. Okay? That's tidbits. Now, if you want more and you really want to know how we truly was able to help a fourth attempt Naplex test taker pass in 6 months, join a case study. Join a case study. Register. The link is in the bio. Just register. Because, and if you don't, obviously the link is LaQuitaJohnson.com/case study. It's very simple. LaQuitaJohnson.com/case study. Just register. And especially if you're planning to take the exam before April 30th, before the new competencies areas change will come in. This is definitely for you. Definitely for you. Because the belief of studying harder and longer is not the key to success. It is a very dangerous myth. Most people understand that the effective techniques, those are not effective techniques. They don't lead to good outcomes. That study longer and harder, no. It's the point of studying smarter. And the way you're going to study smarter is through active recall, spaced repetition, and practice testing. Those are scientifically proven methods that help you retain information, build your confidence that you really need to excel. So we're not working harder and longer. We're going to work smarter, right? If you want more and you're very interested in seeing how strategic study methods has transformed this fourth attempt Naplex candidate into a licensed pharmacist, I really invite you to register for the free case study on Thursday, February 20th. All you gotta do is go to LaQuitaJohnson.com/case study. and really truly discover these exact strategies that we use to help her pass, and really how you can apply them on your journey. Until next time, that's all I have for you. Until next time, remember that pharmacy is only if you are. Now go be great, and I will talk to you guys later.